What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack, and today we're going to be speaking about why I personally believe you need to buy Facebook stock. If you watch the channel at all, you know that it's not very often at all that I recommend people to buy a stock. But today, that's exactly what I'm doing. So what I'm going to make very clear from the start is that I'm not a financial advisor and I have the hoodie to prove it. So everything I say about Facebook today is going to paint them in this beautiful shining light, okay? Because I absolutely love them as a company and I plan on buying more in these guys. That does not necessarily mean that you should 100% go and buy these guys. These are all just my opinions and what I plan on doing. But I just want to give some insight into why I think Facebook is literally one of the best stocks in the world that you can invest in right now. So we're going to take a nice deep look into these guys. We're going to discuss, their future prospects, how they can keep expanding, how they can keep making money, how they've grown to what they are over not even the last 10 years. So we're going to have a deep look into, what they do, how they make their money, how they can make more money, how they're going to keep expanding, how they're going to keep being the innovators that they've turned into today. So right before we get into the juicy stuff, guys, can I ask you please smash that like button. It genuinely helps me out so much. We're about 150 subs from 4,000. If you guys smash the support on this video, we could hit that by Monday. So please help me out. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet, please just tap that red button. Again, it helps me out massively. And what I want you to do as well is drop me a comment with your thoughts on Facebook. Let me know if you own them, if you plan on buying them soon, because I am a new investor to Facebook and already they've become one of my favorite stocks. So with all that being said, let's just get into it. Let's get to the details and let's see why I love Facebook so much. So I want to start things off by speaking about a couple of pieces of news, one of which could literally change the way that Facebook and a lot of other tech giant companies change the way they run forever. I'm speaking Facebook, I'm speaking Google, I'm speaking Amazon, all of those big guys. Facebook will now let some employees work from anywhere, but their paychecks could get cut. This bit's not important, you'll see why later on. Mark Zuckerberg said that about half of the company's employees could be working remotely in 10 years. This is massive news, and we're going to get into why, because this is something that's not really been done before by these big massive companies. And as of the end of last year, Facebook had essentially 45,000 employees, so it's an absolutely massive company. That's a lot of people to have working from home. So remember I said it could lead to lower paychecks, and that is because they could lower paychecks to reflect cheaper costs of living in some cases. So it depends on where you're working from, and this makes sense, and some people may not be on board with this, but I think it's very fair. So in the US, for example, Mississippi has the lowest cost of living, and if we go down, Hawaii, California, New York, they have some of the highest costs of living. So obviously, if you're doing the exact same job and you work in New York, as opposed to if you work in Mississippi, you should potentially be getting more money if you're just working from home, if it doesn't matter where you actually are. A lot of people might not agree with me, but I do think that this is a fair point. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. What I think is really exciting about this is that they have access to every great mind in America and Canada now. They don't have to be in a particular place. They don't have to be within commuting distance of Facebook. They can be anywhere. So this opens up a whole new pool of potential employees, and potential employees who have been CEOs in other businesses. And this is something that Facebook has done in the past quite a lot. They have chased out CEOs from other successful businesses to bring onto the team. Being able to recruit more broadly, especially across the US and Canada to start, is going to open up a lot of new talent that previously wouldn't have considered moving to a big city. And keep in mind, he's not forcing people to do this either. These people can go back to work, they can go back to their office, and they can keep the exact same paycheck they've always had. They're just giving the employees the option. So, there's not going to be any ill blood between Facebook and their employees. It's literally just an extra option. And having more people at home will, save Facebook some money in little things. They'll save money on operational expenses such as free food and shuttle services. Now, this isn't the biggest thing in the whole wide world, but it does add up. An internal company survey found that about 45% of employees interested in remote work were pretty confident they would move to another location. It also said about 40% of employees said they were somewhat, extremely, or very interested in remote work, and about 60% of employees asked for flexibility, or a combination of both. But I just think that something like this happening, guys, this is literally going to change the world. It's going to change the way that future businesses are run. This isn't a small piece of news by any means. This is literally changing the way that business will work in the future. And I personally think it's going to be a fantastic move for the people like Facebook who do it. And if the likes of Google and Amazon follow suit, I think it's going to be a fantastic move. And this may have some knock-on effects in other industries and other sectors, and I will touch on that a little bit towards the end of the video. And as well, in case you are worried they plan on forcing everybody to work online, Facebook has the money to keep its Menlo Park campus, something Zuckerberg pledged to do in his Thursday announcement. So it's not like everybody will be forced to work from home. As I said, the option will be there. And next up, another piece of news I want to touch on is Mark Zuckerberg launches Facebook Shops to help small businesses sell online. And there is definitely an industry for this. Let's just look at Shopify, for example, something that a lot of small businesses use to set up their own online stores, something that I'm using to set up my online store right now. Shopify, from the recent low on the 2nd of April, is up 138%. I think that number speaks for itself. People need these services, especially now. The world is going to change. The world 100% is going to change, and a whole lot more businesses are going to realize that they can do a lot of business online. So anybody who's going to be able to move their services online, anybody who's going to be able to have a shop online is going to benefit. So I think this is a fantastic introduction by Facebook. I also think what's going to happen is this will encourage even more people to set up a Facebook account. It'll encourage even more small businesses to set up a small Facebook account, and it'll encourage more small businesses to pay for advertising on Facebook to drive traffic right to their page, because Facebook is one of the cheapest places on the internet that you can advertise right now, and that's where Facebook makes its money. So I mean, everything just looks fantastic. So next up, we're looking at Facebook's max stock chart. They went IPO back in 2012, and since they went IPO, they're up over 500%. So fantastic return so far. They've built up to a market cap of about 670 billion. Now quickly, I just want to compare that to Google and Amazon, two of the other tech giants, two of the biggest tech giants, okay? And Google right now has a market cap of 963 billion, and Amazon has a market cap of 1.22 billion. I think the fact that Facebook has this smaller market cap gives us investors a little bit more potential to see more return in a shorter time span. I personally would expect to see Facebook hit, $450, $500 before I'd expect Amazon to hit $5,000. And as I just said, in the last 8 years since they went public, there's been some absolutely amazing growth. But they've only been public for 8 years. You know what I mean? They've so much further to go. If I could only invest in Facebook, Google, or Amazon, honestly, Facebook would probably be the only one I would choose. Obviously, they're all beautiful, amazing companies that I'm happy to own and want to own more in. But right now, if I could only have one, it would be really close. It'd be like this close. I'd have to go with Facebook. Now, next up, we're going to have a look at Facebook's beautiful balance sheet. We can see that they have over 60 billion in cash and short-term investments. Massive, massive money, okay? We have a look at the total current assets, 69 billion, right? And then we go down, total assets close to 140 billion. So massive, massive assets, both short and long term. Current liabilities are only at 15 billion. That's incredible. Total liabilities at 33 billion. I mean, their balance sheet is just, it's incredible. No matter what happens next, they're going to have so much cash on hand. They're going to be able to continue buying these smaller companies out. They're going to be able to continue investing. They're going to be able to continue to grow. It's just beautiful. And that brings me on to my next point. What Facebook do so well is mergers and acquisitions. They've acquired 82 other companies, including WhatsApp, also Instagram, also Oculus VR. They're the only three I'm really going to speak about. What's very interesting here that I touched on briefly earlier is that most of Facebook acquisitions have primarily been talent acquisitions, and acquired products are often shut down. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has stated in 2010 that we have not once bought a company for the company. Now, since then, things have changed with WhatsApp and Instagram, okay? I do think that they were bought for the companies. But aside from them, we buy companies to get excellent people. In order to have a really entrepreneurial culture, one of the key things is to make sure we're recruiting the best people. So, I mean, if you just look through here, they bought so many of these companies, most of which they don't even care about. They're just buying them for the people behind them. But then in more recent times, in 2012 and 2014 respectively, Instagram and WhatsApp, they acquired Instagram for 1 billion. Now it's worth 100 billion. So that was an absolutely amazing investment, and no doubt it's going to keep on growing. Instagram is going to keep on growing. And WhatsApp, we all know what WhatsApp is. They have a global user base of nearly $1.5 billion. And what's so interesting and confusing all at once about WhatsApp, it's not clear how the company monetizes this app. They have an app with over 1.5 billion users, and I don't believe it's monetized right now, and that's mind-blowing to me, but there must be a reason. He's a smart guy. I'm sure at some stage WhatsApp is going to make an awful lot of money. I don't know if it's going to be done through ads or if it's going to be, you can pay for extra services. But man, WhatsApp is going to be a moneymaker someday. So a really quick recap, because there's a lot of information, okay? Facebook have an absolutely disgustingly amazing balance sheet, okay? They also have Instagram and WhatsApp, two of the other biggest social media platforms in the world. They have enough money to to buy whatever they want, essentially. Any business that they want that is up and coming, that starts to build an awful lot of traction, they can buy it. They're changing the way business is literally going to work forever. You know, they're going to let way more of their employees work from home, which is going to more than likely save them a lot of money while still getting the same quality of work done. It will allow them to get more of the geniuses of the world who will help expand the business. It's all just amazing. Now, I just briefly mentioned how WhatsApp is pretty much not monetized whatsoever right now, and I want to speak about how Facebook make money and how they're going to be able to make more money at the click of a finger. This is how Facebook makes their money. 98.5% of it comes from advertising. If you go onto Facebook right now and scroll 2 or 3 items down, there's going to be an ad. If you watch a video, you watch a minute of it, an ad is going to pop up. People pay Facebook to have their content on their website. In 2018, Facebook posted 55 billion in advertising revenue. You want to know how Facebook could make more money at the click of a fingers without even getting any more customers, without getting any more new signups? Just charge the smallest amount more for their advertising fees that most people won't even notice. If Facebook just charged 1% more on 55 billion, they're going to make more than an extra $500 million, just like that. An extra 2%, that's an extra billion a year. And then on top of that, more and more people are joining that app every single month. Back at the end of 2008, there was 100 million people, and it has just gone up and up and up all the way to where we are now with over 2.6 billion monthly active users. The more people that sign up, the more ads that are going to be run. If a lot more of the world starts to move online as well, which is the direction it looks like we're going, more ads are going to be run. Everything they're doing makes so much sense. I literally can't find anything I don't like about these guys. Literally not one thing. So I think it goes without saying that I am more than likely going to buy some Facebook next week. It will honestly probably take up at least half of what I spend next week, because that's just how much I absolutely love the look of these guys right now. But once again, I'll remind you all that I'm not a financial advisor. That does not mean that I'm telling you to buy Facebook or that you should buy Facebook. Now, the next thing I want to touch on that's not directly to do with Facebook, but it's the future. It's what Facebook's working towards, and it's going to affect a lot of the world. I want to speak about certain other sectors. The first one I want to touch off is oil and oil-related stocks. Do I believe that, some tech giants moving a lot of their workers online is going to affect the price of oil much? With less people driving, with less businessmen flying business class on airlines, things along those lines. I can't say that I do see it affecting the price much, and here is why. So Mark Zuckerberg said that within 10 years, he sees about 40 to 50% of their employees working from home remotely. Right now, that equates to about 22,500 people, which is obviously quite a lot of people. But in the grand scheme of things, in the entire world, it's not that many. The majority of people are still going to be driving to work. The majority of people will still be taking their flights. There's still going to be a lot of in-person business meetings. But one of the first things I did think about when I started looking into this was, will it affect oil price? And I think, simply put, the answer is no. I don't think it's going to have that big of an effect where it will affect the price and supply and demand of oil. The other thing I want to speak about is one stock in particular. It's actually these bad boys right here. It's Zoom. It's a company I haven't actually spoken about on the channel before. The reason I haven't spoken about them is just because of how quickly these guys have grown. And it's all down to the situation, and it's all down to the fact that, a lot of the world is inevitably moving online right now. So do I think somebody like Zoom is going to be really important going forwards? Yes, I most definitely do. But do I think they're worth $171 a share? I can't say that I do. I would have, been relatively happy to buy them maybe down here. I would have been happier to buy them down here, when they were quite below $100 a share. Right now, despite how good of a future outlook they have, despite, a lot of the world moving online, I don't think they're a good stock to buy just because of a little bit of news like this. Because keep in mind, just because Facebook are doing this, doesn't mean that the large majority of companies or stores will be doing this. A lot of people need people physically to be in their doors, to be in their business. They can't just sell their service online. They can't have their employees work remotely. So if you're like me and Zoom popped into your head straight away when you started seeing this news, I don't think this is a big enough reason to go ahead and pick up Zoom. One last thing I want to speak about quickly is, are they not overpriced? They've gained a lot of value. You guys know that I personally am not really buying stocks that are above where they were, 2-3 months ago. I don't think they're overpriced. I think they deserve to be where they are because of how expertly, how amazingly they've handled a situation that's been thrown at them. They've turned it into something positive for their business. That's why they've gone up. So I definitely don't think they're overvalued. Do I think they could have red days? Of course. Do I think they could drop 5-10%? Of course. But with me, I'm going to buy them next week. It doesn't matter if it's red or if it's green. It's what I'm doing. It's already decided in my head. I love the look of these guys more than any other company in the world right now. So guys, I really do hope that you enjoy these videos. Let me know what company you'd like me to cover in a video just like this one. We go a little bit deeper into the company and what I think about them. These videos don't usually do as well, to be honest, as when I speak about 5 or 10 companies or different sectors. So if you did watch till the end, can I please ask you for the support? Just drop it a like and drop me a comment. Those two things will genuinely change how well the video does so much. But yeah guys, I really do hope that you enjoyed today's video. Hope that you have an absolutely fantastic weekend, and I will see you all for tomorrow's video. Have a great day. Peace.